Thanks for putting the information out there. And then one day we're going to have to realize that it goes higher than just information. You know, when they come up with a brand new plane, they put $billions in to just the wing. We just jump up all at once and say we're going to do this. It's very interesting what they're saying about the recess apartment. Okay? When you bring somebody on, now you listen to what the sister was saying, you write it down, and then your researchers find somebody who's an authority on it. And they will tell you when the Senate goes out, all they have to do is leave one senator back there. And you can't have a recess apartment. Okay? Okay, Did you hear me?
Did not know that.
Well, I'm saying. So you got other people calling. So my grandmother turned on this station, and she don't know you don't know that. So that's why you say, well, wait a minute, tomorrow we'll run somebody down. That's what the researchers are for, huh? That's what the researchers are for. If one person is there talking, then you can't have a research because the senators have them going out. One person, then another.
Right, filibustering.
Huh?
Filibustering.
Yeah, well, it's deeper than that. It's sort of, but you can get around the law, but you have people trained. Why do you think the mob can stay out here and do what they do? They think there's got a bunch of mob folk calling in that love sex and love selling, love doing. No. They got brilliant lawyers, huh? That understand that. You see, I laughed when they came up with the, well, first, the lady, there was a person on, and, the movement. Look at all the great armies in the world. You follow me? In the history. Have they ever been named movement? Huh?
No.
I'm asking you. Have they ever been named movement?
No.
Okay. Yeah. General Motors, is it a movement?
No.
Okay. Everything that's powerful, the United States Air Force, is it a movement? Well, somebody's got to be sitting there figuring that out and say, wait a minute, hold it. My grandmother can't do it, huh? My grandmother can't do it at all. So she finds somebody she like and she trusts. She like and she trusts. And then she listens to them. But then somebody else come on and say, well, you know, so-and-so, 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 so-and-so. And then she said, wait a minute, hold it. And so what we're looking at is the movement. I heard you say earlier about the bunch of spies who's in the movement. Well, that's what movement's about. So when my grandmother listens and she hears somebody say that Thurgood Marshall was a government agent, which he was, huh? But we fall in love because we ain't going to do nothing. We're not going to change nothing. So we fall in love with people who they tell us are doing it, huh? And one day all that crap at the airport out there, Thurgood, they're going to have to take all that down. Because more people is finding out about it now, and they go check it. You people listening to me that got something, I'm talking about when I say you people, I'm talking about the ones that can get on the computer after the show is over and look at the nasty, filthy things that Thurgood Marshall said about Howard University and talked about Martin Luther King like he was a triple dog with a tail. But y'all don't know that. And why should you know it? But this is what's good about shows like this. And then some of y'all that got information can't be out here grandstanding and showing up. I know this. Let me tell you, I learned a long time ago accidentally. You don't drive a Rolls Royce and take it back to the ghetto where people basically have used cars. You hang out with Rolls Royce people. That's where you get the information from. And they're not bragging or boasting. I get people come up to me and tell me something because they heard me say something either on YouTube or this show, huh? And so, for instance, when you stop and think about, where we are, and then you talk about the God force, the whole universal force, what God force are we talking about, huh? The Baptists? You know how many people don't know that Catholics are not Christians? Okay? And why? Don't they say Catholic, Christians, and Jews? Is that what they say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they was Christians, they wouldn't have to say Catholics, Christians, and Jews. They just say Catholic, they just fit in with Christians. Huh? And so when you stop and think about it, I mean, you look at circumcision. Circumcision. I mean, that's that little foreskin they take off the tip of a little child's penis. Now, you can get circumcised when you're grown, but can you imagine there is a God, universal? I shouldn't say God. The word God means power. That's why they could call the mafia Godfather. It's power. Anything with power, you can say God. When you're talking about the one put the universe together, it's a rhythm. And when the Baptist church get through saying the Lord's Prayer and they think they're saying Amen, they saying the rhythm. I am. And when they tell you, as I was growing up, to use God's name in vain is a violation. So them ignorant folks not knowing was thought it was goddamn. God is power. Dam is when I dam up something. Go out to the river and dam up that water and you get electric. Okay? You dam it up when a woman is 9 months pregnant and that water bag break. You go in from the damming it up to it breaking. And then you get new life. Then you get power. And so anytime I say, I am hungry, I am tired, I am weak, that's using God's name in vain. God's name is a rhythm. It's I am. So how can I say God that put the whole universe together can be tired? I am sleepy. I am drunk. God can't be none of that. So you go to bed every night and you wake up and all that misinformation. You don't mean to do it. My mother told me. And all this old stuff y'all got about the elders, but look, all old people ain't no elders, okay? Don't just think because you old, you an elder, huh? And so when you stop and think about, my mother told me Santa Claus was a white man. Was a white man. And she's buying the toys. Now, you can't get no more ignorant than that, but you don't know it. She buys the toys. And she runs this game down on us because she don't know it's a game. Anytime you tell a black child, children don't hear what you mean, they hear what you say. And I learned that one day I'm calling home, I'm in a hurry, and one of my daughters answered the phone, and I said, tell your mother to come to the phone, I want to yell at her. And I heard her asking her mother, why would Dad want to yell at you? Wow. And then I realized, you have to be twice as smart as a white person. I hear you saying I'm dumb. Huh? That's what I hear. I don't hear what you mean. I hear what you say. And anytime you tell me I got to be twice as smart as somebody else, my brain pictures up as being dumb. Anytime you sit down and tell a black child, a boy in particular, that there's a white, racist, Negro-hating cop out there that will blow your brains out. So when they pull you over or ask you something, behave yourself. Anytime my mother or daddy tell me to behave with filth, with a murdering, filth, ungodly, unspiritual cop, I think I did something wrong. Because my brain can't believe my mother is telling me to respect this filthy, ungodly heathen. Now, how can I come out with that with a book if don't nobody know it? And so when you sit and you think about, I listen to American, the president said, God bless America. The first thing I think about is Hitler and them said the same thing. God bless Hitler and the Nazis, huh? And all of that. And so somewhere when you stop and we sit around and compare ourselves with Jews, how can you? Do you realize how long Jews been out of slavery? Over 8,000 years. How long we been out of slavery? 300. So he's got a business that's passed down through the family for 8,000 years, and I got a business that's passed down through through the system in 300, huh? So what is this about, huh? So go back 300 years after the Jews were set free from the Egyptians. They acted the same way we did. Oh, they taught us to hate. Let me tell you something, man. Culture patterns is a violation of God, okay? Give me a gorilla with a culture pattern. Give me a mouse with a culture pattern. Give me a dog with a culture pattern. All them dogs been taught that crap, okay? So I say that to say this here. So, continent. Now, I just want you to kind of follow me for a minute. Continent. So if you say the continent of Europe, I want some of you all sitting there that's not on the show to name me some countries in the continent of Europe. The Romans, the Greeks, the British. Huh? These are continents inside. These are countries inside. Well, who was fighting the wars? Huh? Who was fighting the war? When the British go to war with the Italians go to war with the Romans. Those are continents. So y'all sitting here with weak information talking about hatred and don't know that's hatred. But here's where the big one comes. Well, that's what that was about. It was the wars against the culture patterns. And then something strange happened. They came over there and took Africans from Africa. That's a continent. Huh? That's a continent. Okay?
Right.
Oh, bless you, sir. Just want to say, when it comes to Ted Cruz and some of these conservatives, when they talk about Israel, what's the lowdown? I mean, what's the truth behind that? Like, I never really hear them talk about how Israel did the Palestinians. I never hear them talk about when the prime minister came over here and just disrespected Obama to his face. So when they say we're going to be a friend or ally to Israel, what does that really mean?
Well, first you have to ask them. I mean, you sit and all them right-wing people, all the good information you hear on this show?
Yes, sir.
You think Russ Limbaugh and them don't know that? Huh? Let me tell you where I get most of my information from, okay? I got black folks that got all kind of nasty jobs in America. But when you make me invisible, you don't see me. You ever been in a cab and you and your friend keep talking like the cab driver's not human? Huh?
Right.
Do you know when you come to Washington, D.C., the mightiest capital in the world, you know how many cab drivers are agents? Huh? How many of y'all been, well, I'm talking about here in D.C., you get on the phone, the cab drivers keep talking on the phone. Now, who you think they talking to? Huh? That's this thing of disrespecting another human being. Oh, this is a cab driver. And when in the early days of slavery, when we didn't count, the invisible man, we did not count. So they said anything in front of us, And when I was a little boy, the railroad porters, doing the middle of Reconstruction, Richard Porter, out of Chicago, white, Jewish dude, went to Europe and said, I want to build some railroad cars because the white folks in America now is getting enough money and clout. They can afford to sleep while they're riding. Up until then, if you was a powerful rich dude, you hooked your car onto the railroad. For older folks out there that say keep the change, where do you think that comes from? You think when you get up in the morning, Rockefeller, one of the richest cats in the world, gonna put his hand on a dollar that you had in the ghetto or you had in Appalachia with all them germs? That's where the word comes from. Keep the change, huh? I go into a place and I get a newspaper and I give you $1. I say, keep the change, boy, huh? That's what that is. Now, the white folks who have the power, they send their man out every day to go to the bank and get new money, huh? Get new money. And so I had a job when I was a little boy in St. Louis in a country club, rich country club, right? And my job was to be a busboy, right? And that was crap, man. I was being paid to watch and see to it that the owners and the waiters threw the butter away. Have you ever went in a place and they just bring you the bread and you wonder what happened to that bread when it leaves the table? They put butter there, you wonder what happens to the butter when it leaves the table? See, what you want, you pay for, huh? And you're not going to call into a free show and find salvation, huh? Mobile. He sells Fords. Where do you think he get his Fords from? What are you talking about, black? Where do you think they get theirs from, huh? Okay? This is a game because you're not willing to shut it down. Shut it down. Okay? And so this is what I'm saying. And then you got to go out and bring people in. Bring people in. Brother, do you know if you would have won the $1.5 billion lottery the second week in January, you'd be almost dead now? Did you know that? And let me tell you why. Suppose somebody that your father's father knew took care of them and they end up on Boeing aircraft and they getting ready to die now. And so they get in touch with you and say, I'm giving you 747. Are you stupid enough to believe you can fly them? Huh? Are you? You hire somebody to do it. Do you realize them poor folks that won that lottery, the brain, huh? Flips. You don't know how to do. You got Ford and the rich folks. They have money managers. You think you can do that without one? You'll be dead in 6 months, man. Because there's a brain that we don't know nothing about that have to say, wait, ho. What is this? Ho. Your whole attitude changed. Let's say you would have won that $1.5 billion. Do you know that next day people would be calling you from around the world that never heard of you the day before? They have a $1 trillion diamond industry. You don't count as what you just won. That's what and you don't qualify to buy diamonds, huh? I told a friend of mine one time, real close friend of mine, I said, things are going to happen to the money, and the money's going to be no good, so you need to put away white carat diamonds. 1 carat white diamond. He called me and said, yeah, man, thank you. I went to Tiffany in New York yesterday and bought all. I said, I didn't say buy jewelry. When you buy jewelry, 90% of the price go to the designer. 1 carat white diamond. And so when you stop and think about it, look at all these black churches. Did you ever ask yourself a question? These mega churches, when General Motors was bankrupt, how were the black churches being built? $80 and $90 million. Where did that money come from, huh? Those are certain things you have to ask. And then the universe, once you asked it, The answer will come. And so again, I'm saying, when you look at something, huh? If you are my son and you a brain surgeon, huh? And you tell me you got a brain tumor because I love you as a son, I don't qualify to cut your head open, huh? I don't qualify to cut your head open. And when you go to hospitals, you go to different sections. You got people that's been trained in this, people that's trained in this, people that's trained in this. And that's what that's about. And so consequently, as we see, we are 300 years. 300 years. And so consequently, you hear stuff on this show, and then you hear somebody else, and you say, well, let me call them to see if they know. Anybody can come up with an idea, huh? Ford ain't made no car. That's why you ain't never heard nobody say Ford brothers changed the things that made a car. The DeWay brothers was made, the first car was made in Massachusetts by the DeWay brothers, okay? Ford and them stole it. And when you go back and look, you don't see nobody say that Ford and them made a car. What they tell you is Ford and them famous all over the world is because of the mass production. The mass production. Before they came out with the mass production, they made cars with assembly line. You put this in, you put this in, you put this in, and then George Washington Carver and Henry Ford were such good friends. Every time he would come to Tuskegee, Alabama, okay, he would bring millions of dollars for the school and give it to Ford. Then one day he came there, and Henry the brother said, Miss Ford, I'll give you this package here when you get back to Detroit. Have your engineers look at it. It's the study I did on plants. And if they can put a system together like this, they can make more than one car at a time. That's why all over the world mass production is called the plant, okay? And Henry Ford is known from the plant, okay? That black man, George Washington Carver, put together watching plants, huh? So y'all go out here with this misinformation. Stop. Listen to it. And then you call my man Muhammad.
The Jews put two Zionists in the Supreme Court, and they say we need to put the nationalists in the Supreme Court. What do you think about that?
That ain't no but fool talk, and that's a comedy. He knows how the Supreme Court works. He knows what that's about. He also knows that Scalia was murdered, okay? He is one of the most powerful people on the planet. When you become a Supreme Court justice, that's for life. And you telling me they travel by themselves? They had no bodyguards with them? Huh? And then all at once, when people who listen to shows like this here, and every now and then a researcher come through and talk about the guy who was with him. Oh, no. It changed. Now, 2 days later, you start seeing this other guy. They didn't tell you who he was at first. His son.
Yeah, he said that he doesn't believe that judge is dead. Huh? Alton. Alton Maddox said he doesn't believe that judge is dead now.
Well, he might not.
Right,
he might
right.
Not. Then you ask the research.
Well, he said that American jurisprudence is guided by history. And she said, so is he. He said we won't have any justice until we have a representative as a black nationalist on the Supreme Court.
Okay, then I'm going to say this and I'm through. Huh?
I don't know why you said that.
Huh?
He's supposed to be attorney at war, and I thought he would have enough sense.
He has got enough sense, huh?
The automatic, I listen to a lot of stuff he said.
Well, how much money have you sent to his organization?
None yet.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
He said,
right. I spent $2 million. Hear me. I spent $2 million doing research on breast milk. Right. That's why all over the world, when I go someplace, they better not open up their mouth, because I'm not just talking some trash or something that I feel. Huh? Now, let me just throw something at you. Let me throw something at you real quick. Circumcision, right? You know, that little piece of skin they take off a little boy. Sometimes they do it to men if they wait that long. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And that little piece
done to me.
Okay. And how old were you?
In my 60s.
Okay, let's go back to the folks that it's in their culture. Little boys, the first week, get circumcised, okay?
Yeah.
Now watch this. In 21 days, that little piece of skin they took off your penis?
Yeah.
In 21 days, that skin grows 3 times the length of a football field. Did you know that?
No, not until you told me last time you were on there.
Okay, now watch this now. And that's what the super rich folks do all over the world. They're the God who put the whole universe together, put something on the head of your penis that got to come off in a week. Why would they put it there? Huh? And so them rich folks, they use it for burns. They take this young skin that just came here and they put on their face and all of that to get this new stuff that just came from the universe, okay? So that's what this is about.
A reason why the Michigan delegation walked out of that convention, led by Coleman Alexander Young at the time.
Yes.
I read his autobiography, and he was saying that he felt that the agenda had already been mapped out before they arrived in Gary.
Oh, they arrived, sure. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? When you stop and think about it, where did the money come from to put it on? You know, they get one of the fine brothers in the world who was the mayor at that time, and somebody just called and said, here's what is needed. Huh? How do you know that wasn't the FBI or CIA? Huh? How do you know that? So you get honest people out here that's just honest but ignorant. Honest. And you hurting. When I go into Walgreens drugstore, you ever went into Walgreens and they say, do you want the receipt or not? And you know how many people say no, right?
Yes.
Have you ever said that?
Rarely.
I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever said no?
Oh, yes, sir, yes.
Okay, I can't say that, okay? Because once I walk out the door, if the cops bust me and say, did you pay for that? Okay, so something that small, I can't participate in. When I go to the store, if I came by your house and me, you, and your husband, and we went out, or your mother, your father went out, I have to be talking and make like I'm looking up at the sky. I'm going back, looking at the back of your car to see if the license plate is on. Okay? I have to do that every time I get in my car. Why? Because that give a cop the right to pull me over for probable cause. Okay? That's the life I have to live. I'm not free to do the normal thing because they watching me 24 and they watching the right person. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. That when you sit and look, but man, why would you hang out and talk to me if I'm driving a used Chevy and you driving a Rolls Royce, huh? What is it I can tell you about a Rolls Royce, huh? That's what I'm saying. And so you just go there because I was a celebrity. Dick Gregory, the other black celebrities wasn't going, huh? When Malcolm X called me, it's one of the most embarrassing moments in his life. I'm in New York working a club. Malcolm called, Brother Greg, Malcolm, Brother Malcolm. I just want to say hello and want to know when you're going to come down to the mosque. And I said, what time is it? He said, 10:30. I said, well, if you can be here at 11:30 with a car, I'll come down now. But here's the conditions. We got to stand in front of the mosque, me and you, and give me a Muhammad speak to hold up. And I want it run on the front page of the papers, or you can't never call me no more. Then I hung up, and then here's when you know Malcolm's humility. He called me back, and here's what he said, Brother Greg, I'm sorry, man, I was just selling wolf tickets. You can't come. You know, 99% of your audience is white folks. I said, Malcolm, let me tell you something. I don't know you except what I've read, heard about you. I ain't never met you. But let me tell you this. You sent a car to pick me up. And I told him what I said to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I live 2 blocks around the corner from him. And I go by and see him every other day. He said, Gregory, when you going to join the mosque? I said, join the mosque? I see you on TV. Ooh. Oh. I said, well, let me tell you something, brother. Every time you see me on TV, I learned a long time ago what make most white folks mad, make black folks glad. And when you see me out there, I'm just trying to make black folks glad. I'm not doing that to join nothing, okay? And that's how me and Malcolm became good friends. You know, it was that I'm listed in the phone, always have been listed in the phone. Never go to school. I will never look at a recital. I will never look at one of their report cards. She started crying. She didn't ask me why. She know if she hear me saying it, she just don't understand. 2 years later, I walked in the house and she grabbed me. She said, wow, how'd you know? I said, what do you mean? Say, them two have been there 2 years. Today is the first day they recognized me as their mother, not Dick Gregory's wife. Did you hear what I just said? Huh? Did you hear what I just said? Dick Gregory's wife. And they couldn't ask the children because he get to talking to the children. No, he never help us with homework. He never do this. He never do that. Okay? And that's why she's respected all over the world. If Buckingham Palace called, they got to go through Leo to get to meet that black woman. Okay? I'm going to say it again. If you gain 1 pound this week, the universe adds 7 miles of blood vessels. 10 pounds, that's 70 miles of blood vessels. So when you get off and you look at all that fat and all that stuff moving, you got to go to the doctor to get them to cut it off. The reason all you got to do is increase your water intake. And then the blood vessels will disappear. This is what I'm talking about, research. Now, here, quickly, if you want to lose weight, do this starting next week, next Wednesday. Start eating nothing but soup